We'll do it to the cloud. Just, okay. Okay, Christy, I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, good morning. I am Christy with the Burlington Animal Shelter, and I will be presenting 2 PowerPoints today. They are each about 10 minutes. I understood that that was within the time frame. If I get too long-winded, cut me off, and feel free to, interject, ask questions, and not be on mute if you don't want to. I'm not distracted too easily, at least not today. So I'll get started, share my screen, and see, host disabled participant screen sharing.
You should be able to share it. Are you able to share?
It says host disabled participant screen sharing.
The green button on the bottom, I think, is what you got to hit.
Okay, and then I would go to screen. I guess try that.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
No? Is that it?
Oh, that's your screen. You need to enable it in the options, in the settings.
Oh, I'm really sorry, Christy.
That's okay.
So you may need to make her host in order for her to use her. If you go up in the, well, I don't have the same screen as you, but there should be up in the right. Yeah, will you see all the people? Mm-hmm.
Yep, I've made you the host. Got it.
What a team.
Thank you.
Okay, looks like I have lots of things open. Okay, we're here.
Yay.
Okay, awesome. So this is why I support the Burlington Animal Services from my point of view. And what I mean support is we are a municipal animal shelter. That means we do get funding from the tax base. However, we are not able to do what we do without donations, volunteers, and support otherwise. I mean that wholeheartedly. We'll get into that a little bit more. Let's see, so I need to go to start slideshow, I think. Okay, so I'm going to make this a little interactive for you. So which one of these is not true? I'm 49 months away from retirement. I am not an animal aficionado. I have a marketing background, and I was in a movie with someone on this call. So the answers will be revealed in this presentation. Is everybody ready to move on?
Mm-hmm.
So it's all about know, like, and trust, right, KLT? So about me, I began employment with the city of Burlington in 1995. I've been married since 2000, and pictured here is my family this past Christmas. I have an 18-year-old daughter that's going to UNC Wilmington and a 14-year-old son who will go into 9th grade at Burlington Christian Academy. So when I say that we can't be as successful without donations, you can see where I've had such a history with this organization, with the city, to see where the difference in how other departments operate versus our department, and we'll continue to talk a little bit more about that. So for my work experiences, I have an HR background, as well as a finance background, as well as in public works. I did special projects, sustainability, and grants. All that led me to the animal shelter to say that I have a heart for service, and that will hold true my entire life. But why support BAS? As an open admission animal shelter, we have an over 90% life-saving rate. As far as we know, we're the only open admission shelter in the state that holds that title. We are fiscally responsible. I can wholeheartedly say that from showing you where I have worked in the past, that I have never seen a staff. I have had staff members say that they were, they felt guilty with the company buying them pens and pencils. Enough said, right? We have volunteers and fosters. We have a huge impact on our community. We have partnership availabilities, knowledgeable, friendly, hardworking staff, visionary leadership, which is why one of the reasons why we started a trend in being so successful. And we have so many social media followers. We have fans that support our supporters. And to the answer, I have a passion for this organization without a marketing background or a background in animals. So the truth is, did someone have it there? Did they write it down? I see a paper up. So, and I was in a movie with someone on this call, if they'll raise their hand. And we did not know that we were in the same movie until recently when we had a phone call. And I am 48 months from retirement from the animal shelter. So I feel that I have a lot of work to get done. I have been in this position since January of 2019, and I really take that seriously, that I have to really, really lay a groundwork to start something, to continue something. And this should be the end, of that one. And let me go ahead and pull up my next one. Let's see here. It did not want to open up this one until I closed the other one. So, oh, and Mary, I see your, do you have a cat there with you? Nice. Oh, pretty kitty. Let me go ahead and get started on this, and then I kind of like it to be a little bit more interactive at the end, and I'll go into some more discussions. So I presented this in another group on May the 4th. So May the 4th be with you. So today that doesn't apply. So May the 4th be with you. Force is the strength or energy exerted or brought to bear, the cause of motion or change, active power. So what is your force? Are you a sloth or are you a sports car? And how is that relevant to now during COVID? So force during these uncertain times, absolutely. Relationship building still occurs. New opportunities arise. Money still exchanges and referrals still happen. We're still receiving donations. Strongly decreased, but that is still happening, and it's all about mindset. So even if you have your own business, I'm trying to make this relevant to everybody. So here's the BAS force. So there in the blue are the number of intakes throughout the past 4 years, and then the number of live release rates. What I didn't have room to show you is the way it looked 10 or 15 years ago. It was the reverse order. It was basically a conveyor belt of euthanasia. It was euthanasia based on space. We didn't have a volunteer program available. I don't think we knew that we could accept donations. We didn't have a wonderful foster program. So you can see the vast difference to where we were to where we are now. And we are so proud of that. To me, that is a force to reverse it, to have a 10% save rate, to reverse it and have a 90% save rate is just unbelievable to me. And how did we do it? So we gathered this data here because we applied for a national city county recognition application that we haven't heard from because it started in March, and so COVID has turned everything upside down. So we gathered that we had about 5,600 hours of volunteer hours, or the equivalent of 2.75 full-time positions. We had approximately 388 fosters, about 143 rescue partners, and we have Mighty Mousers. Mighty Mousers is our program where people take their stray feral cats in their communities and they bring them in. We spay, neuter, vaccinate, ear tip them, and then the owner or whoever found that cat will release that cat back into the environment. We have hikes with hounds. That's one Friday per month. We have individuals in the community just come and walk some of our shelter dogs in some of our local parks, whether that's city, county, or just anywhere in our local area. We have Alamance Community College interns. We have Pets for Our Vets, and I just got off a call where Vets to Vets is going to start working with us, if you guys know that organization in the area. We have all the social media, and you all know that helps get the word out. So please, if you care anything about this organization and what I'm saying, and you know, we're a neighbor to you all, even if we're not in your county, and we can make an impact to be an example in this state, please follow us on our social media. And we also have continuing education. So especially during COVID, staff is doing lots of education that is encouraged either way, even before COVID. So this is our contact information. I'm going to stop the screen sharing. I'm going to open it up and have a little bit more interactive conversation. Okay, so I can't stress enough about where I've been and where I am now and what that looks like from seeing other people in government who don't care that it is taxpayer money to spend. And I'm being completely transparent and honest about that I've seen that where I've worked in other departments, to now, you know, staff, like I said, they want everything to go towards the animals. You know, I hear all the time, no, that's too expensive, that's too expensive, to the point that I've had to say, well, sometimes buying the better quality of something will last 5 years longer than not, because everyone there, I'm the outsider still, kind of what being new. Everyone is so much about the animals, and I am too. That is our mission, and that's what we are there for. But I have never seen such a fiscally responsible group of people. It runs like a nonprofit. So when I say we couldn't function without donations, I'm not saying that because it is a cliche thing to say in my job. I'm saying because I wholeheartedly mean it. I'm saying it because things wouldn't be possible. Animals wouldn't be saved without them. An example of that. We had a cat that was hit by a car recently, and we were able to work with another nonprofit and get that animal's leg amputated to then be adopted. Years ago, that animal would have already been euthanized. We would have not had the resources to do that. I could probably think of countless examples for that. We have such a strong network. We have an organization, Amber's Animal Advocacy, She is one young lady that lives in Alamance County that runs a nonprofit where she accepts donations. So if we have a medical issue that extends beyond our capabilities, because we only have one veterinarian on staff and they're part-time and they're on contract, and we have 3 vet techs, she will adopt the dog from us, and she has an agreement with a local vet where there's a contracted price to treat that animal. And I see another animal on here with Mary.
Sorry.
No, I love it. So she'll contract with a vet office that will, take care of that animal, and then she'll have that dog adopted or surrender it back to us where we adopt it. No one ever knew that dog may have had a sickness or injury or illness, or maybe they do, and we're transparent. It's not that we're hiding it, but I'm saying the animal could be completely well, or the animal could have issue, and you may be someone who wants to adopt an animal that has an issue. There are people that want to help the most needy animals that are out there. I happened to just be in one of my favorite stores in Chapel Hill and kind of developed a relationship with some of the staff, and one of the ladies in there saw my shirt that was embroidered with Burlington Animal Services. And it was just like this, something just fell out of the sky, and just these words came to her. And she said, I have been just dying to foster a senior or medical animal. I have just been dying to do that. And so she has fostered a couple of very needy dogs for us and helped us rehabilitate and get those adopted. So my point in that is we can never underestimate what corner we might turn to have someone that can help us in this mission. And again, I don't want to be greedy to say help us and not other people. Help your local animal shelter, but not everybody is as receptive as us. Our director came from another local county, and she did great work there as the assistant. Since she is gone and our organization is so great, I'm hearing a lot of negativity coming from her old employer about the way they handle things. And I don't want to get too specific, and I'm not trying to say anything bad about anyone else to make us look better. I'm saying we are proud to be an example for other people, if that makes sense. If we get the word out, and if other people see that, am I over? Am I going to?
No, I was gonna ask, well, it's 9:30. I was gonna ask a question, but.
Yeah, go right ahead.
So do you have other counties, other animal shelters reaching out to you because of your success rate, and you have such a great established infrastructure and network of people? Do you have them reaching out just for ideas on what you do? I understand what you're saying, because there's a lot of people who think it's about them and not about the animals.
Right.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of egos in everything. But one of the things I've noticed from moving to the South is there's so much need for animal shelters, which is really sad that we need so many animal shelters, but it's great to see one that has the great success rate that you do. So I have more questions, but I'll stop there.
Yeah. No, so I'll go ahead and address that one.
Yeah.
So we didn't know what we were in the middle of, but right in the middle of February, one of our staff members, myself and my director, went to Myrtle Beach to a conference. And it was Carolinas Unite. So it was North and South Carolina shelters, some private, some public. And it's my job to be very vocal about our organization anyway, so that just came very natural in the classes. And I would say things, and people would come up to me afterwards and then ask questions about, well, how did you do that? They would also other participants in the class would mention in other classes, hey, so-and-so was in that other class and they were talking about this. And I made a lot of really great connections. Do people on a regular basis in the local area call regularly? I don't think so. I'm hoping to be at that point. I feel like we're still in our infancy stages of success, because we actually, for the first year that we had the major success rate, we were so afraid to publish that because of the expectation. We were afraid that we would fail. Not that we wouldn't put forth our best effort, but we never know what could happen. I mean, we never could have predicted this COVID thing. You know, we never could have predicted something like that. So anything similar could have happened that we wouldn't be so successful. We feel a little bit more comfortable, but we also know you can't let your guard down and we can't stop all the great work. And I feel so passionate to get that word out, to empower people like you all to have this knowledge so that you can tell your neighbor and they can tell their neighbor. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Another situation occurred. So for our local Family Justice Center director, she is a volunteer at multiple animal shelters because she's lived in Wake County, she's lived in Guilford County, and she's lived in Alamance, and so she's volunteered all over. So her primary job, of course, was with people, but she had such a passion for animals. So as a part of her regular job, she did the through the Family Justice Center, she did a domestic violence event that we partnered with. And of that, I found out about a grant that we're going to apply for in a couple months through one of her staff members' siblings was an employee at the Orange County Animal Shelter who told me about this grant that we're applying for, and it's a local grant through the Petrie Foundation that you all might be familiar with in Orange County. And I would have never known that without that connection. Additionally, aside from development in my role, last year I applied for, I think, 7 grants and got, I think, 6 of them. One of them was some supplies, and they decided that they didn't want to give to a municipal shelter. We've applied for 4 just since March through COVID that are COVID specific. And when things get back to normal, I'm going to be able to get a Elon administration staff get so much done. I can't believe how much work gets done with a small number of staff.
Christy, another question. Wake County, it's not Wake County, it's Chatham County Animal Shelter, Animal Services has a program where they do summer camps for kids. Like it's a week, or I think it's 1 week, and it's all about learning about proper care of animals. And they talk to them about not spaying, the consequences of not spaying and neutering your animals and what happens at the shelters. And it's done like for, I think, 3rd and I think fourth graders. Do you guys have any kind of programs like that? It's with the idea of when we teach our younger generation, properly about caring for animals, we're going to have less neglect, less people dumping their animals. They're more aware.
Right.
You have a program like that?
We have something similar, not a formal summer camp, but prior to COVID, staff would visit schools, mainly elementary schools, and give presentations on animal safety and that very same thing. I received a phone call personally from one of the local charter schools, and it was a middle school and it was elementary, middle, and high school, but the high school did the collection of some supplies for animals for us. So instead of just going to pick them up, I said, do you mind if I come in and I thank the students and speak to them for a few moments? So I spoke to them for about 10 minutes. And granted, they were high school students, but I can't say that it didn't make an impact, because I told every one of them, I said, right now, get out your phone, follow us on social media. Well, as soon as I did that, I noticed Instagram started really growing because their friends saw that they were following them. And so something so small. Another thing we're going to do is, so we just, and I forget about who doesn't know this. So Anna might be the only one in this group that knows this. Maybe Mary, maybe Kayla, but we just underwent a $5 million facility expansion, and it is gorgeous. I just moved in, even though I'm working from home, I just moved in my office last Tuesday, just because we had to vacate the old building so it can be demolished. And we were going to have this wonderful open house, and we were planning on having children come in and read to animals. So we're looking for a Boy Scout or a Girl Scout to make some little stools that are not out of wood, because we can't allow wood in the animal areas because they could chew it, to make some stools for them to sit on. So we are definitely working towards the younger community. And right now, as I'm dealing with all you wonderful entrepreneurs that I feed off of and get wonderful advice, I've noticed that in our community, different organizations, the library, the parks, different places are giving out these packets to kids that contain coupons and, informational sheets and this, that, and another. So our community firework display that normally draws about 5,000 people was canceled. So in lieu of those fireworks during COVID, our recreation department gave out packets with some coupons to some local ice cream places. One of them was Smitty's. Smitty's is a local ice cream store that's in Graham, Burlington, and Elon. And they developed an ice cream flavor based on our acronym BAS. Last year, it was baked apple strudel, and this year it is berry apple swirl. And a portion of the sales of that ice cream all summer long will go to us. Well, because one of our rescue partners reached out to them and wanted to copy our idea, even though they're wonderful too, my director and I had this idea. Well, Smitty's was torn on who to support. And I said, well, I'm torn too, because they're really awesome. So how about this? Why don't we tell you 2 other local nonprofits that support animals, and you just support all 4 of us and write each of us a check at the end? And so my thought was, those groups will have people that will go to support them, and so we'll have a bigger pool of fans, and that helps the business get more money as well. So I was born to do this job even without an animal background, because I'm just so passionate about everything that I do. And I love all these ideas, and I just keep them coming. Does anybody have any more ideas? Well, let me say this. So this is where I was going with that. So in lieu of the fireworks, recreation handed out these packets in the community. They have a mobile van that goes out into the community, park and play or something. And so as I'm learning Canva and all this, with some little graphic art, even though I don't have that background either, I develop a coloring sheet, because Tammy, this is the person that I referred you to, Katie Smith Photography, that I referred you to connect with some time ago. She is our volunteer photographer. And so she converted some of the photos into black and white coloring images and sent those to me. And that's what I used to make a coloring sheet. And I posed it as, so the children could see us in a positive light. I just said, Happy 4th of July from BAS, and I put fireworks. And then we have a human services nonprofit that I put some animal safety info in a coloring sheet. And then that led Recreation to invite us to do it again. So I made a sheet that's a beach theme because their theme next week is beach to give out to the community. And I put a coupon for if they color it and tag us on social media, they're entered to win a free snow cone from a local snow cone to help the community. And that's what I want to lead into for the community. If you are a small business, if you are someone that needs to get your name out there, if you ever make a donation to us, and we like to say, you know, anything about over, you know, $200, we love to send a shout out to you guys on our social media platforms with all those followers. And that could open up business for you, because especially if you're in the animal welfare agency, and even if you're not, it can open up doors for you. And we love giving shout outs like that. We try to include, it's not just about us, it's about you too. I mean, and I seriously mean that. We really want to help other people. It's all about community, and community does not have to be in the walls of our county. It does from the standpoint of that's the only parameters that we can accept incoming animals for surrender because of laws. But other than that, our reach can go so far. We've been invited to other counties to do events that we've done. We are going to have a grand open house with some vendors, and I think we're going to have the vendor table set up for just $30 to have a table. So there's many opportunities to do business with us.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you so much. Does anybody else have any other questions? We're about 9:48, so we got about 10 more minutes.
I saw in the chat that Kayla had mentioned BAS is a Best Friends affiliate. What's Best Friends?
So Best Friends is coined, and Kayla, you may be a little bit, because I've worked with them through applying for grants and reading some of their language, but you may have a longer history with them. They have a campaign for, you know, all shelters across the U.S. to be no kill. And Kayla and I have talked about this. Our director, and I see her point, even though that's the language that Best Friends uses, and I understand that language because it's such a huge impact and it really speaks to people. But we like to say for us that we have, we do the, I haven't said it in so long because I haven't done this long of networking before that I forgot how it says. We try to have the best possible outcome for the most amount of animals is what we like to say. And Best Friends is very understanding and fund us a lot, because in reality, since we are open in mission and since we are a municipal shelter, we do have people that will come to us at the end of their animal's life to surrender for end of life euthanasia when it's necessary, and we can't tell them no. And we're glad to provide that service, but that also affects our numbers, where a private shelter can say no, we don't take that animal.
Yeah, honestly, when I talk to you, like you said, the Burlington Animal Shelter, you guys are, not sure the correct word I'm looking for here, but not the norm for a municipal shelter, because a lot of those municipal shelters are extremely high kill rates, you know, and you guys having over 90% save rate, obviously, you know, textbook terminology is no kill for you, is just a huge anomaly. And I think it's exciting, and I just can't give you guys enough kudos for what you do being a municipal and open admission, because it just doesn't happen.
Right.
So awesome to all of you guys.
Thanks, Kayla. And Kayla and I have had some extensive conversations, and we might work together at some point in the future. Who knows? Many of you on this call, we might work together in the future. I know Mary and I have had lots of discussions, and you know, we definitely welcome both of you. And we have volunteers from all over. And I forgot, I have not mentioned to this group, I'm going to try to make this long story short. We had a dog that was surrendered to us because a person had owned this animal. They were moving out of state, and they gave that animal to someone that I think they knew. And that animal did not do so well with that person. And so they surrendered that animal, that dog, to us during COVID. Well, even our most educated staff member could not handle this animal. It was seeming like this animal could end up being a liability because the dog was aggressive. Well, I don't even know how this happened, but the original owner moved to Idaho, and one of our volunteers drove the dog to Idaho a few weeks ago to take the animal back to its original owner, because I'm not saying that we were close to euthanizing the animal due to behavior, but I'm not saying that discussion was likely not on the table. And I don't even know that for sure, but I'm just, between the Zoom meetings that I heard about, there are certain things that are liability that we work with trainers and we go through the motions and we worked with the trainer. And so we were, at the end of the day, so thankful for this volunteer to have done this. It would have been so much easier for us to call it a day, but that's not the way we choose. We choose to do better. We were looking for flights. There were none because planes are, grounded, as you all know right now. I talked to that volunteer for quite some time. She had difficulty with the dog too. So she said she's 150 miles in. She gets to the back of the car and she says, now we're going to have to be friends and you're going to have to get along with me because I'm going to have to let you out and I'm going to have to feed you. I saw pictures and everything on Facebook, not even knowing that in the beginning. That dog was in her lap. It was unbelievable. And I would say all but one of our staff members, maybe two, could handle that dog. So isn't it crazy how that works out, how the universe just allowed that to happen where she was safely able to take the dog? Now, funny story, and you guys in the animal industry, welfare industry will appreciate this. She said that she had a friend and they had 2 double beds, and the dog got up and urinated in her bed at every hotel room they went to. And she talked to someone who told her that was the dog showing her, you are my person. I am in charge. I am doing this to you. Didn't do it where on her or where she was sleeping, but on the other side of the double bed. And so, I don't know. That was just an amazing thing. I mean, when I really looked on the map and saw how far Idaho was away from central North Carolina, I was just floored. I went, that's a part of something we did, and that's pretty amazing.
That's amazing that she did that. I mean, she took on a huge responsibility and possible liability for, that dog getting away from her, or, and peeing on the beds is really inappropriate, right, Kayla? That's like really bad dog. But that's pretty amazing that she did that. There's very few people that would have taken that on to take that dog all the way. My brother lives in Montana, and I've thought about driving over there to see him, to take my dogs with me. And I thought, oh my God, it'd be like a 4-day drive. It's like, for me. So that's amazing. Well, thank you so much for sharing, Christy. That was pretty amazing. That is really impressive what your accomplishments, and I look forward to coming and visiting the shelter and with working with you in the future. Christy and I have thought about a fundraising event that we're looking at trying to get together. So we'll let everybody know if we do that. Yeah. So I think, Christy, because you're host, you have to stop the recording. I'm not able to stop it.
Okay. And
can you stop it?
Let's see.
Mary, you can go back in like how you made her host, and then you can unmake her host.
So So it's not letting me do that. It's just showing Christy as host.
Oh, then she has to go up into the top corner